early, shall we? YouTube.com/vegan, or just keep listening because we got a lot of fun audio to play. But we have a special guest joining us in studio. He is the coach of Weirdo's Kids LaCrosse, right? Tucson Bandit. And Weirdo tried to jump back on Justin. That's Justin, by the way. That I don't know if you could help. He said, and I think he was kind of confusing catchphrase of lacrosse. He said it's the fastest growing sport in the country. Is that true? That is really?
Yeah.
Is that because of the speed on the field or the amount of people signing up for lacrosse? Now, lacrosse isn't necessarily an Arizona thing. I know it's huge, back east, and also like kind of local, like it's wherever American Pie was at. I know it's huge here too. But yeah, like why? How's it growing so fast?
It's a common misconception that
Okay.
started on the East Coast, a hotbed of lacrosse, basically Long Island, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Maryland.
Right.
But lacrosse is exploding. The fastest growing sport in America has been for the past 10 years.
Nice.
And it's not just on the East Coast, it's all over the South, Texas. We're surrounded by it here in Arizona. It's huge in California. It's huge in Utah. It's huge in Colorado. They actually have pro teams in San Diego, in Salt Lake City, in Denver. So it's just exploding.
Nice.
Arizona's catching up, but it's all around us too. We're in the league right now. We have 15 teams here. People don't know, but the largest lacrosse game ever played indoors was in Phoenix. We used to have indoor lacrosse.
Largest being the fan supported, or how many players are on the field at one time?
How many people came for the game?
Oh, how many people came for the game?
Yeah.
Nice. So that was such a. Now you got an accent. Where are you from?
I grew up in Oklahoma,
Okay.
but then I spent about 20 years in Mississippi, so I couldn't get drop the accent.
No, that's
And
fine.
then my wife is from Mississippi, so I hear it at home all the time. So I'm just
Is lacrosse huge in Mississippi and Oklahoma in that area as well?
it is not. I didn't grow up playing lacrosse. I started coaching when my son started playing in first grade. He's in sixth grade right now.
Nice.
So I've been doing it for about 6 years now. No, it wasn't a sport in Oklahoma, although it is now. My cousins back there, they all play lacrosse now.
Yeah.
So it's exploding in Oklahoma too. In every state across the United States.
Yeah, so this is an outsider's perspective of lacrosse. First off, I host the hockey games, right? So for me, it's almost like a cardio version of hockey, without like the violence per se. What's the best way for you just to describe it to somebody who doesn't know the sport like myself? Right?
It's a mix of all different kinds of sports. You have more skills you have to learn in lacrosse. You could look at it this way: we play on a grass field, which is basically the size of a soccer field, right? The soccer field, and then at the end of the soccer field, we have goals like in hockey, right? But then the plays that we run are all basically basketball plays. We're running the pick and roll, we're running zone defense, and that's kind of what we're doing.
Okay.
And then add into that, we're all wearing pads, we're wearing helmets. Not so much for the physical violence, but you got sticks, you got balls.
Right. Yeah.
So
And they
imagine
go pretty fast.
imagine a bunch of guys dressed in football pads out on a soccer field, hitting each other with 4 foot and 6 foot sticks. And that's
Yeah.
lacrosse.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Well, running basketball plays. Like, yeah, I knew nothing about lacrosse until a few years ago because my boyfriend, he grew up playing, and then we got our boys into it. And I went to my first lacrosse game, which, first of all, the first game I watched was 8U, which is 8 under. So it's like a bunch of 5 and 6-year-olds. And I'm like, this is the best. They're so tiny, and they're just running after this little lacrosse ball. And it is the best thing ever. And the crowd doesn't get yelled at for like, hey, keep it down. No, we get to get a little rowdy too and like really cheer the kids on, which is nice.
Yeah, youth sports is always fun to go out and sport. And it's probably like some of the most entertaining sports that you're going to be able to see and adorable at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's great about that too for people who are looking to get their kids involved in sports. I mean, not only is it tremendous exercise, but I know there's a lot of people like kind of concerned about like CTE of their kids and having like head trauma or any of that football brings. This is essentially you kind of get the thrills of football with all the different gear, but also protective gear. But at the same time, they're not bashing each other's heads. But you can hit each other with sticks.
And hit each other with sticks.
That's
the reason we started
Yeah.
playing lacrosse because my son thought baseball was boring, and we don't let him play football because of the concussion.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's really what we tell people about lacrosse. It is the safest contact sport. It has a full history of concussions. Because in football, think about it, you're going head to head, you're trying to We got a receiver catching the ball on the safety 10 yards, lining up distance to take him out of the game. Lacrosse isn't like that. All the contact you have in lacrosse is accidental. You're both going after the ball. You're not taking each other out. You're hitting each other with sticks, but basically what you're trying to do is check the ball out of the opponent's stick.
Yeah.
So you can't just hit someone in the head. You have to hit the stick and try and knock it out. And that's where the contact comes from. And that's why we don't have a lot of injuries.
It's almost like sword fighting.
Hello.
Medieval duel.
We have to tell the kids after practice, stop sword fighting. They get it out. They get it out.
Yeah.
Stand on one leg like Monty Python.
That's awesome. Yeah, now it's a youth sports organization league, Tucson Bandits, LAX. All right.
On Instagram.
On Instagram. The website's TucsonBanditsLacrosse.com. There's a game this Saturday, today, and before, but they are also looking for recruits for next season in September and October. So if this is something you may be interested in getting your kids involved with, make sure you visit TucsonBanditsLacrosse.com. It's for ages 5 to 14. It's a great way to get them involved early, young, and it looks like it's the fastest growing sport in the country with pro leagues starting to pop up. So, hey, you may even raise the next lacrosse superstar of the future. Right?
It paths to college as well. We've had 2 players that got scholarships.
If I can tell you right now, we've in the past, the Bandits Club and other clubs, we also have other clubs. Vail has a club, Rana has a club, Laurel Valley has a club. And these are all popping up all over the place. But the Bandits in the past, we historically have sent a lot of kids to college. Just this year, we had 3 kids sign, one with a school in Wisconsin that plays lacrosse and football, and 2 kids on the East Coast, the Division III powerhouse. Nice. So we're continually doing that. We just had 2 kids a couple of years ago go on to play for Denver University, and they won the national championship. They were the first team on the West Coast, the east or west of the Mississippi River, to win a national championship. So not only do you have the potential to go play in college, now you have the pro league started now too. So the lacrosse is just blown up. In Arizona, they've already sent kids from Arizona to the pro lacrosse league. The most famous player is Gabe Van Rappen. He was out of Phoenix, and now he plays with the New York Athletes, one of the best defensemen. Nice.
And what a badass name, too.
I was about to say,
Rapping
yeah.
horse? Van Rapping Horse?
His dad was a famous quarterback for Arizona State.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, this is fantastic. What is last question? When is the season the youth lacrosse league usually happen?
Well, that's another great thing. It's so hot in Arizona, we play the best time of the year. We start practice in November when weather's great, and we end games at the end of the month. So you're never out in the 110-degree heat. We practice at night. The games, we have 2 games on Saturdays. Like this Saturday coming up, we have teams coming out, 2 teams from Chandler, a team from Tempe. We have Laurel Valley, Marana, Tucson. We're all going to be playing at Reedsville River Park this Saturday.
Excellent. Yeah, that's the games, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you want to check out some live lacrosse action. But again, if you have kids that might be interested in joining the lacrosse league, make sure you visit them online, TucsonBanditsLacrosse.com, or on Instagram. You can follow them at Tucson Bandits LAX. Coach Justin, thanks for coming in, letting us know about this, and hopefully, how's Weirdo's kids? Are they good?
They're very good.
Yeah.
They're very good.
All right, there you go.
We're trying to get our oldest son to come play travel.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
I've already planted the seed. We'll see how it works.
We'll see how that goes. We'll keep the conversation on the podcast broadcasting back with our top story. The Kentucky prison system is effed, and the prisoners are effing the guards. How that will affect our prison system and every single prison across the country. I'll tell you more next. Journalist. So yeah, I'm interested to dive deep into that story. And I didn't mean to cut it short, Justin.
Yeah. So we're still live on the podcast, but we just go back and forth on the website. But
Was there anything that we forgot to mention or anything?
I would say the biggest thing is you're talking about the time of the season is right between. So if you've got a kid who also plays football, you can still play football. If you got that kid that also plays baseball, baseball picks up at the beginning of April as well. So it's like this nice in between sport that helps support, training other sports.
Cross season training.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, just put it more efficient.
Yeah. That's all the words. Well, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming in. We'll do it again. Next time. As you're doing the recruiting process, getting people, the kids to sign up. We'll see if we can boost your sign up for the next season and continue to grow the league, dude. It sounds exciting.
We'd love to have it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
No problem, dude. Coach Justin, everybody. We're going to open up our show open from this morning and be back with the single song takeover and this top story that's going to blow your mind. I guarantee it. So here we go.
Corporation radio station. Stream us on your cell, laptop, desktop, or tablet at KFMA.com. You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live from Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Wednesday, February 28th. Almost the last day of the month.
Almost.
Damn you, leap year. Good morning, weirdo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We're going to have another fun one today on this hump day. Tickets on the line for your Tucson Roadrunners. Plus, we'll give you 2 opportunities to text qualify to win $2,024 cash money as part of the Rock 102.1 Cash Pal promotion that we're doing each and every day here for the next forever. It's going to feel like forever by the time we're done. But top story today. And this is interesting because I almost kind of saw this coming, and I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't see this coming more so. Like last week, Casino del Sol posted an apology on their social media talking about outages amongst their slot machines, right?
Okay.
And their slot machines were all down for several hours and some other electronics while they restored it. They sent out a public apology for the inconvenience and reminded patrons that all their table games are still open, right? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't think too much of it, but the reality is I should have immediately been like, that's not good for Casino del Sol, because we've seen this before. Actually, just last year, there was major cyber attacks on casinos on the Sunset or on the Vegas Strip.
Right.
Major corporations affecting them big time. The Mirage and MGM, all of them, right? And those companies actually ended up paying a very hefty ransom to get their access back, right? Now, what's going to stop a cyber attack if it could attack the most powerful conglomerates in the nation and, almost the world, as far as, big business is concerned and casino entertainment? What's going to stop them from attacking smaller casinos all throughout the country? And, it looks like right now, Casino del Sol, unfortunately, has now been a victim of a cyber attack. And they made a public statement about this just last night, because I saw another post on their social media, again, apologizing for the inconvenience. So on KOLD, they report that there's a widespread system outage at Del Sol and their sister casino as well, the Casino of the Sun. All of their slot machines, donezo. Their ATMs, donezo. You can't do any credit cards at the restaurants. And there's been reports that their electronic keys don't work for their hotel rooms. Ooh. And that guests have to be escorted by an employee to get let into the room. It is it is a huge, huge disaster happening right now at Casino del Sol. They say they're currently working with the FBI and the police department to try to get to the bottom of this. But again, we've seen this play out on a bigger level, and it didn't end well. And I feel really bad about this situation here because obviously this is, affects our local community, right? And the casino employs a lot of people. But this is also like a modern day problem that these casinos are going to continue to happen. And, even when they go top level, cybersecurity, defense, whatever, right? You're always going to have cyber attackers out there that are just one step ahead to figure out the system.
Oh, yeah, all the time. They talk about that. Like the laws and everything else cannot keep up with the criminals. They're always ahead.
Yeah. So, it's no words. Like there isn't going to be a word what happens. If they end up fixing this, they might have to pay out. I don't know if they would publicly state they did pay out or not.
That was going to be my next question, is if they announce that there's like a ransom that was being requested, or they're just kind of like, we're dealing with it, guys.
In this situation, I think it's just better for business not to give the details of what's happening behind the scenes. I'm sure I know people that work for the casino that I'm sure I could get some tea, and there's some gossip and rumors that are like flying around there amongst employees. But yeah, if they did pay a ransom, or if they're going to pay a ransom, the rule number one is you don't mention that. And because essentially that just makes you a mark for other criminals, right? That's why that notorious line, "We don't negotiate with terrorists," right?
Yeah.
You say that, and then secretly you negotiate with terrorists, right? Because you don't, if you admit that you negotiate with terrorists, then there's a line of terrorists out the door saying, "All right, good. Well, I got a deal for you." Now, how can you prevent this in the future if you can't, hire top cyber agents? Well, how about start with taking Vegas and casinos like Del Sol, making them old school, meaning that like unplugging the slot machines that are computer slot machines that are all connected to each other, which obviously very beneficial for the casino, for many reasons. And the top reason, public reason, is that it collects all that data and they could see everything in real time. That's the number one reason. The other reasons, there are Vegas-y reasons, or you're just like, I don't trust it. So what if you just, unplug it, bust out those like 777 machines that, had the the rod and the spinning wheel that's not connected to any, computer. And then if you just have a motorized slot machine like we had in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, before the computer age, you guess what? They can't hack those. They have to literally come in with a crowbar and open them up to get the money. Right. That's
going back to like actual physical money too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. And all the coins splashing down. It's fun. Instead of, you still get that sound effect because they've done scientific studies. They realize the dopamine rush that you get hearing that. But then it's a bust because then you get this little paper slip. Convenient, sure. But at the end of the day, back in the day, people loved carrying around a big bucket full of coins. Like it was Chuck E. Cheese. You know?
I think it was still around right when I first turned 21 and went. I was like, actually, this is kind of exciting.
Hell yeah. No, that's it. I mean, we were actually all primed and prepped since a very young age in this country to love the casino. And it really all dates back to Peter Piper Pizza, Chuck E. Cheese, Pistol Pete's, whatever pizza / arcade that we grew up going to. Those are 100% designed to give us that same hit and rush that we experience as adults when we hit the tables or slot machines.
The other thing that trained me was like my grandparents had those video poker games, those little handheld ones.
Yeah. So
my God.
I know.
I'd kill it on those. And then I got to the casino and really gambled in real life and nothing.
That's because they're all connected to machines, man, or the computer. And we'll see. We'll keep you updated on that. Definitely, I'm paying attention to the story as it develops. And no other casinos outside of the Casino del Sol family is being affected at this moment. But if I was Desert Diamond Casinos, I would be stepping up my cyber game right about now. Being like, once they're done with them, they're coming for us. That seems like almost a guarantee. All right, we have a lot to get to today. And we have special guests stopping by the studio. Morning coming up next, kicking things off a little mellow. I wanted to hear this song to start off my day. It's Nirvana, Something in the Way, on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Hey. I just wanted to finish out the rhyme. All right, so that was our show open. Welcome back. And hopefully we might get Cirque du Soleil performers on the podcast broadcast this morning. So we have that happening. They're apparently jumping in on the other show. And they're fully dressed, and so, which is crazy too, because obviously they're on the radio. The guy across the hall is not allowed to have video anymore because he ruined that privilege. But we are, and it's like, dude, we could show off your skills. Show me some Cirque du Soleil stuff, dude. I've been promoting that at the TCC, and so if it's a sales thing, I'll be mad. If it's not, it's whatever. Yeah,
and it's the break the ice one, so they're on ice skates too.
Yeah,
which are really
they on
cool.
ice skates? Well,
they're not currently on there, but the show is on the ice. But they're still doing all the crazy acrobatics on freaking blades, man.
I know.
That's
love
crazy.
It. Yeah. So hopefully we get to see them. I apologize for the, opening of the show having bad audio. I had YouTube still running. It was an autoplay, and that messes up the audio for whatever reason. If I don't share that YouTube, it just, that's how it is. Technical nonsense. But we're going to be on and I'm going to do my single song takeover here in a little bit. That's what I was using the YouTube for, was that Local H song that I've been buzzing about. So if you're listening to the FM side as well, you'll hear that song and let me know if you like it, because Weirdo and I love it. I love that song for a long time, but Weirdo digs it too.
Oh, yeah. I'm jumping on the bandwagon on this one 20 years later.
Hey, it happens, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I'll play it now. Let's see. We'll go right into it. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That's Shinedown. How did you love? We are live on the podcast broadcast. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be joined by Cirque du Soleil performers who are fully decked out in their circus gear. And I'll give you a confession here, Weirdo. When I was a young man, talking about like 10, 11, 12, I fell in love with like every young circus performer girl that from like Estonia or whatever that I've ever seen. You know, I remember like feelings of falling in love with a young circus girl when I was like 12 years old as well. I'm thinking she was 12. The one that got away. Maybe she's in the building today. Who knows? I know. But we're going to talk about Cirque du Soleil happening at the TCC potentially. And coming up next, our top story is about the Kentucky prison system. It's been rocked with a scandal. Over 60 guards have been having sexual affairs with prisoners, and that's just scratching the surface.
That's
but
insane.
why that actually affects us and every other prison system in the country. What's being revealed about this scandal is so mind-blowing, but it's also a warning to where we're at as a society with this prison system, all throughout the country, and why it's going to keep on happening until something is done. So I'm going to break that down for you right after our single song takeover, which is a song that I was buzzing about all morning long, talked about it, and did a makeshift edit, and I hope you enjoy. It's Local H, California songs on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Turn it up. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit here so you can hear this song. It's the bass line. Say what? That's all I'm going to give you. You're going to have to turn it on the radio. But for those of you who are continuing to watch, you want some comedy, well, good news is I have today's Morning Moron all lined up and ready to go. So in case you missed it, I want a little something like this. Check it out. 0.1 KFMA, that's Lincoln Park with Lost. It's now 6:16 and time for your Morning Moron. Let's do it. Oh, today's Morning Moron is a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah, teachers could be morons too.
Yeah.
Especially teachers who are obsessed with medieval cosplay. Okay?
Oh, no.
So, yeah, this happened in New Mexico, and this is a quick way to get a teacher sued. But this teacher in question here reportedly brought swords to a class to instruct students to fight.
Oh,
All right?
this is just a recipe for perfection, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, before you start thinking this is going to be one of those foam swords you would see at like a local Comic-Con, it wasn't. They were like real sharp swords.
You say teacher and sword and medieval cosplay, and I'm like, it's a nerd. It's got to be a real sword.
It's got to be a real sword, right? This guy doesn't mess around. He's no poser. So anyways, this happened at Volcano Vista High in New Mexico, and it actually happened a while ago, but there's this whole thing has been going to court, and it was caught on camera during chemistry class. Now there's the thing.
Wait,
swords and chemistry, they don't necessarily mix, right? What would be an appropriate class for a teacher to break out some swords?
I mean, chemistry is just the modern alchemy.
No.
Okay, fine.
See, you're trying to give excuses for this moron, so you're going to be team moron in this. It's only going to make you look like a moron, right? So what would be an appropriate class to bring medieval swords into?
Well, history.
There you go. But it wasn't history. It was chemistry, right? So this guy was just like failing on all levels. Now, also, they did have a sword fight. Students did actually participate, and one girl got injured. Seriously. And the girl who got injured is now suing. The female student got a major cut and had to go to the ER. And it gets crazier because according to the incident report, the assistant principal claimed the teacher brought the swords to discuss the science of metal and melding, but answered no when asked if the injury violated school rules. He's like, in his defense, though, it does not say anywhere in the school rules that you cannot bring actual swords into your classroom.
They need to get very, very specific in these student and teacher handbooks because there's too many loopholes.
Yes, they do. So he is a defendant in the lawsuit, and he still has his job. So the teacher and the principal and the entire administration, today's Morning Moron. All right. So, would you, if you're listening, I know you're asking about the band. That's California Songs by a Local H. Is what I'm playing right now. So I really dig this song.
You're two.
That's right. That's a mic
Hell
drop
yeah.
right there. Local H, so the single song takeover. Again, this is a song I requested on the radio way back when and it did not get played. It's a song that was under the radar. A lot of people don't even know the name of this band, even though they know their song Bound to the Floor.
Yeah.
But it's the Copacetic song, if that doesn't ring a bell. So that's our single song takeover today. And I'm glad that we're able to find it on YouTube. We're going to have a Cirque du Soleil performers in here. That is confirmed. I believe around 9:20. So we're going to see them. But let's get into our top story. This story is blowing my mind, weirdo.
Yeah.
And what it is basically, it's a scandal that's rocking the whole entire state of Kentucky, as it has been revealed that many police officers are on suspension and have been fired for having, several charges. Sexual relations with prisoners, selling them drugs, everything that you would see in Orange is the New Black,
Yeah.
amplified. And it's not just like male prison guards sleeping with female prisoners. It's also female prison guards sleeping with male prisoners. And this is nothing new, okay? But a shocking investigation revealed 59 cases of employee on inmate sexual offenses in the past 5 years, with 35 cases possibly involving criminal charges. Most recently, a 42-year-old named Amanda Kolka was charged with third-degree sodomy earlier this month for allegedly having a sexual relationship with an inmate half her age. It was interesting that they charged her with sodomy when she was with the male inmate and probably the recipient. Still charged. It's crazy. Now, that inmate, who has not been identified, was serving a lengthy sentence for burglary, assault, theft, and whatnot. Meanwhile, at least 14 others were caught smuggling drugs like Suboxone and meth into prisons in exchange for money. And one officer faced charges for carrying a handgun. So why does Kentucky's prison failures affect us, or how?
Mm-hmm.
Experts say the troubles in Kentucky state prisons extend beyond inappropriate relationships or smuggling, and the same holds true for correctional facilities across the country. All right, so they say this: being a correctional officer is a very challenging job, obviously.
Right.
All right. In the popular imagination, we think these jobs as being exposed to the extreme forms of violence, which of course can happen,
Mm-hmm.
but more often than not, you're dealing with the mundane daily tasks of being unappreciated and underpaid and feeling isolated and overworked. Giving where you're working, this could lead to some problems. And here's the biggest problem here. The prison staff, as far as prison guard staff, they're so understaffed all over the country. When they're understaffed, they still need to run a prison. They still need to keep prisoners safe.
Mm-hmm.
That means there's overtime. That means the states are spending millions upon millions of dollars extra money that they don't need to just to pay overtime.
Yeah.
But why? But the overtime's not the real issue. The issue is some of these prison guards are working 72-hour weeks.
They're spending more time at the prisons than they are at home.
It gets to a point where you're not the prison guard. You're just the prisoner. If you have to live at that prison, the only thing that separates you from the prisoner is the power dynamic. And eventually you give into that power dynamic. And hey, you haven't been able to see your wife all week long because you work 72 hours and you're super horny. Then all of a sudden this girl who is super horny, locked up and has nothing but time giving you attention, then you cave to that, and vice versa,
Mhm.
and
The
so
psychology behind it. I mean, we could unravel that for years.
don't need to. There's been plenty of studies that have shown this, that, being a victim of this this environment turns you into this person, whether you think you're a good person or not.
Mhm.
Tons of television shows, studies, science has proved this. But what is happening and in Kentucky is rocking the industry because it's so widespread that now they're going to be even more short-staffed or have to turn a blind eye or slap a wrist to some of their worst offenders who are essentially leading drug cartels on the inside of the prison and then also cherry picking their sexual victims. This is what's happening. The worst in the situation, the Kentucky Department of Corrections has been so short staffed, and more than half of their jobs are vacant. So only 40% of the 1,955 correctional officers positions are filled, forcing the department to pay millions of dollars in overtime
That's
to staff.
insane.
Yes. So it's a mind-blowing story on our lead story. And this is, if you think that the Arizona prison system is any different, you're wrong. Pick a state and they're going to have the exact same problems. So that's our top story that was broken today. We're going to keep the conversation moving with some fun jokes and good times on the podcast broadcast and have Cirque du Soleil performers coming up next. It'll be Vegan Presents, so don't go away. All right, so shoehorn that in, but isn't that a crazy story?
Yeah, that's
see?
like 10.
And he might not be wrong. And honestly, I
Mhm.
had friends who were in jail in prison who had similar stories, banging them. And when I was in jail, I was in love with all the female COs. Can you go check
Yeah.
to see if they're available? All right, so we're trying to, we're trying to get these Cirque du Soleil people. Yeah, while Weirdo does that, I do want to share with you a video clip from earlier this morning. Let's see. We'll do This Week in Weed. Check this out. Establishments all over the country, and I get a couple tidbits from those who are in that industry. First, this is an excellent promotion from a dispensary in New York, and I would hope that dispensaries out here kind of take note. It's called the Weed and Read promotion.
Oh,
This is something that's right up your alley, actually.
like a book club?
It's like a stoner book club. Yes.
Oh, sign me up.
Yeah, so this dispensary in New York has high hopes of getting their patrons to read more by rolling out the Weed and Read promotion. So they're called Housing Works Cannabis Company, and they're offering a deal where when clientele buys a certain cannabis product, they also get to select a book to take home while they toke.
Oh.
Yes, just don't try to take home like 1984. You'll
You'll
trip
lose
the
your
F out.
mind.
Yeah. Some chalk the campaign up to a little more than woke propaganda.
Oh, good Lord.
So stupid. I'm sorry. Like being literate is woke.
Right.
Like read, man, and you can read whatever you want. You can read about like General Lee if you want.
Right, exactly. Doesn't
Sure.
it doesn't sound like they're putting a limit on it. Just pick a book.
Yeah, it's a book, dude. It's not like all the books that are on the shelf are like how to be trans in 21 days.
Exactly.
Now, 21-year-old New York University student Asa says the promotion makes sense since if you're smoking a lot, you need to be exercising your brain, and without reading a book, you'll fry your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Are they like partnering with like local libraries, like to promote? Oh my God, people forget libraries are amazing. We get movies from them.
I know,
Like-
no, unfortunately, but it should be a state-sponsored
should
type of
be.
promotion. It seems like it's one of those we have them out here, kind of like corner libraries where you
Mhm.
take a book, leave a book.
Oh yeah, the free little libraries.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you guys could do that too at any given time. If you're stoned and you have one of those take a book, leave a book things in your area, take a book, read it, and then bring it back. All right. So that's the good news about This Week in Weed. Here is the downside of a weed story because sometimes the people involved in the marijuana business are kind of dummies. And sometimes people who are involved in the marijuana business aren't legally involved in the marijuana business. I'll give you an example. Georgetown, Kentucky liquor store is now being investigated for being a front for selling pot. Okay. So they're a liquor store that sells weed. Now,
Okay.
how would police even be tipped off to the fact? Well, maybe it's in their name. They call themselves 420 Liquors.
It's Kentucky, where I'm assuming it's not legal.
No, well, I mean, I don't know if they have legalized recreational or medical, but I know that this liquor store, when you have a liquor license, it does not give you the license to sell weed,
No.
even if your name is 420 Liquors. But you know exactly what they wanted to sell when they opened up this liquor store. Now, police executed a search warrant after a tip found pounds of marijuana. The marijuana is pending a test lab to confirm, but it's more than likely that is what they were doing. And the store is still open for now, which is insane.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. Isn't that crazy? If it's like, hey, are you going in? Be like, yeah, I'll take a 30 pack and an eighth. Right?
Right?
And so it's like a one-stop shop
Yeah.
for beer and pot.
I just love that they're going to send it to the test shop. It's like, it was weed.
Yeah.
It's not
Kentucky.
oregano.
They're used to dealing with meth, and they need to test the quality of that. So let them have their fun.
Okay.
But yes, they found weed, and 420 Liquors is probably going to get busted and shut down. All right, so there's your week in weed. Let's hit the reset. When we come back, OnlyFans. Now we're going to talk about Nacho or Taco. Fuck books. Oh, sometimes if you read a good indica, that might help your ADHD there, Taco, and be able to slow it down. And you start off with, like I said, green eggs and ham and work your way up. Those books are great. Not only do they rhyme and you can rap to them, but then they have beautiful pictures and illustrations.
I mean, I do relate to him because I have ADHD, and there's those times where, man, it's got to be completely silent. Otherwise, I'm just reading the same sentence over and over again.
Yeah, I guess that happens, but I thought that was pretty cool promotion, and I'm sure.
I think it is too.
Yeah, since it's getting a little bit of press, I'm sure there'll be other dispensaries, maybe even around town. I'll kind of jump on the bandwagon, do these kind of things as we continue to normalize the industry as it continues to grow, because they're going to have to just promote, because the green rush, the floodgates open, everyone goes in, and it's easy. You're like selling air, right? Or selling whatever. And
how much dispensaries have helped other local businesses have been insane. Like my dad used to make signs. I have friends also in the industry where the dispensaries have to spend so much money legitimately that they're like, they will go to a sign company and be like, okay, this is a sign we want. Oh, you'd normally charge $10,000. We're going to charge us $40,000 because we literally have to spend this money. Dispensaries are putting so much money into local economies. It's insane.
And I appreciate that tidbit. That had nothing to do with what I was talking about, by the way.
No, just doing these different cross promotions and stuff with weed and this book series or books, thing. To me, I don't know. Just legalize it federally, please. Can we just do that now?
Right, but no, what my point I was getting to was that it will get to a point where they'll need to do creative marketing to build their customer base. Right, right now it's it sells itself, so it's easy. They don't have to market. So
I don't think they ever will fully.
If they oversaturate, they absolutely will, because if they continue to give out, think about bars.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. You're like, hey, people love to drink, and they'll never have to market. And then you get a bar in every corner, and then you absolutely have to market. Right. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I'm trying to drop knowledge on you. And the ADHD jumping in. And I'm like, yeah, but what about this? We weren't talking about that, weirdo. Get to the point, bro. So no circus performers, and good on them for getting them. If it was a get, but I will be pissed if it was a sales setup, because I'm just like, did they advertise? That's cool if they advertise on KLPX. That's one thing. But if you're gonna bring in guests that are gonna be full blown circus performers, and I have a low key circus fetish, and you're not even gonna tell me about it, then I'm gonna be mad. And
did you fill that out on the sales promo survey?
Yeah, we had to fill out a bunch of a questionnaire to get endorsements.
And what's your favorite grocery store? Really? All right.
Yeah, and I put there wasn't a fetish list, but
there should have been.
I threw it in there anyways, just in case. So they're still working on the quote unquote endorsement thing. I doubt that our crackpot sales team could figure any of that out, but we'll go out and sell our own endorsements. Are you going to have an endorsement with Rustics?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, so ladies watching the stream, if you want to get your eyelashes did, that's Weirdo. Weirdo has the connection, and she's been doing that professionally for years, but now she's a part of Rustic's salon that is connected to the Rustic's barbershop that we know and love. and she'll be doing that as a trade.
Yeah. So not only working on services, but like I'm also helping develop a lash distribution company and website, and like it's actually a pretty cool opportunity. This is what I wanted to do years ago,
Yeah.
but had nobody to back me financially, right, to get started. And it's really hard to do that without money. So I made a connection with them and being able to do an education program, like the whole bit. It's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, no, Tim, the owner of Rustics there, is a major entrepreneur, man, always looking to make big bucks, and he just knows how to make money. So, we got to do another beard contest here soon enough. In fact, actually, hey, let's.
What?
Can you put on this beard for me so I
all
can put my balls in your face? Let's see how this works. So, our next beard envy contest is going to be something like this, but without the fake beard, because our dudes will have beards, and
Here, take this.
Okay. Yeah, so these are the balls, and the object of the game is simple.
It comes with glasses. I don't need them.
No, you don't need them, but
No.
yeah, you definitely keep them in there.
Is it supposed to be like a hipster beard thing?
Yeah, kind of, and it's like a Velcro beard, and
It
then I
is.
throw my balls up at your face and see if the balls stick.
There's
on
a
your
dice.
face.
There's a stack of cards. You just want to throw your balls in my face.
I do.
Okay.
And what's wrong with that? I have an update. So here, I'll show you this. There's a science alert. We recently been talking about the cure for cancer and the debate that if they didn't have a cure, or if they did have a cure, they would not reveal it because of money, blah, blah, blah. Recently, there was a California man who was cured of HIV and cancer at the same time. Legitimately, this is a story that was multiple news sites reported on. This link that I'll show you is from sciencealert.com as one of them.
We were talking about give us your unlucky stories. Like this is the complete polar opposite.
Yeah.
HIV and cancer?
HIV and cancer.
Ow.
Yeah, well, it was unlucky that he got them both, but super lucky that he had the cure. So, on the list of illnesses nobody wants, cancer and HIV ranked pretty high.
Yeah.
Paul Edmonds is the name, and he was free of both cancer and HIV and considered in remission from leukemia. In another 2 years, he was also considered cured of HIV, which will mark 5 years from his last treatment. Now, HIV cure is nothing new, right?
Mhm.
This is, people have been able to take medication and have their HIV go into remission for years now. And I don't know why. And I've been saying this for years too on the radio. Like, why aren't we on the rooftop, shouting out and celebrating this major accomplishment? Everyone that grew up, it's around our age, grew up in the HIV era,
Right.
where we're all terrified of it.
Right.
In the 80s, it was an epidemic, and in 90s, it was all about safe sex and awareness for HIV. And of course, Magic Johnson, it was all big news. And then literally within the last 10 years, scientists have figured out the drug cocktail that not only suppresses the HIV virus, but eliminates it.
Yeah.
And that's something where's the press conference for that, man?
Okay, so I discovered something in the medical field where there is something that is technically a cure, but they're not allowed to call it that. So they say you no longer hit the symptom diagnostic requirements for diagnosis. I know it's the longest thing ever.
That's
but
the dumbest, nerdiest way to say cure.
Exactly, but that's what they use.
All right, Rock on 2.1 KFMA. That was Audio Slave, like a slave. Or like a stone on Rock 1 2.1. Don't put on the beard yet, because that's a more video podcast bit than audio podcast. We're talking about a California man who was cured of both HIV and cancer. Same time, dude. Just dunking. And we talked about why the somewhat seemingly cure for HIV wasn't necessarily publicly celebrated. And Weirdo had some great nerdy explanation as to why they can't necessarily call it a cure yet. But it is a known fact that now HIV is a manageable disease.
Right.
But just as when people are like, cool, don't have to wear condoms anymore, they're like, guess what? Super gonorrhea. So
super crabs.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we're in the clear
No.
and then you could just bang freely,
No,
but it does
still be responsible and safe, please. There are other things out there.
Yes, but but that story is also inspiring as well, about a California man named Paul Edmonds who was cured of both HIV, which he lived with for 31 years, and cancer. And so that's a mind-blowing thing. And you're coming across more and more stories of people being able to not only beat cancer, but be cured of it.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're getting closer to that, and that's good news.
Yeah.
So that was an update of a conversation we had recently on the podcast broadcast. Speaking of another update, we did a recap, a 5-minute recap of Who the F Did I Marry? That was the viral sensation on TikTok from Risa Tisa,
Yeah.
I should say, who happened to do literally an 8.5 hour story about her ex-husband, putting him on blast and revealing how she was kind of basically conned throughout their entire relationship. It was so salacious, and she was so captivating in telling this story that over 100 million people watched her smear her ex for 8.5 hours, which is a mind-blowing
Oh my
accomplishment.
God, all the TV studios being like, we will never see those ratings.
I know.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, if you think about it, the number one television show in the country, it'd be lucky to get 5 million people watching.
Exactly.
So 100 million people watch it 8.5 hours. That's longer than your average Netflix series.
Well, 8.5 hours to explain a less than 2-year relationship. It's not like she's explaining a 20-year marar
I know, dude.
Like, insane.
She was able to do it. But here's an update on that, because one of the hottest video series that we talked about, it was all about her ex-husband, Legion. Well, now Legion is looking at filing a lawsuit over the allegations.
Ooh.
Yeah, this according to TMZ. Legion says he and Risa were having trust issues at one point, and claims she attempted to reconcile with him while allegedly threatening to expose him if he did not comply. Now, this is a threat that most men are familiar with, right? Whenever you go through a breakup, you kind of get these, like it's relatable.
Right.
But no one ever thinks it's going to this extreme, right? Where 100 million people are like, F you, Legion. You're like, oh, man.
Right, because at the end of every relationship, it just becomes about like who can hurt who the most, right? Like where now it's like there's going to be this legal battle. Because if she's made money off this, he might be able to get it. And he sounds like a super duper con man.
Yeah, exactly.
So right up his alley.
He smells money, and that's the worst thing that could happen when you want to get rid of this guy out of your life, because apparently, if you believe the 8.5 hours story that she told, he is a con man and thirsty for money, and he's an opportunist. So he will come back seeing that there was money there to be made.
Right. And at the end, she had said like she hadn't heard from him, that he disappeared, was off the map, off the grid. But now here he comes.
Well, now that he's famous, it's time to cash in.
Mm-hmm.
He met with attorneys yesterday on the matter because his reputation and career have taken a hit. Now, there was no career, though, according to the story. The twist is his employer is also getting backlash for the videos and may also end up suing Risa. So it looks like he did have a job. Legion told TMZ the way he's been betrayed by Risa is not who he is at all. And honestly, we've all been through breakups. We've all had, experiences where exes may have exaggerated faults and maybe even did a smear campaign and made up facts about somebody. So as much as people want to jump on board, there are two sides to every story, as always. And this is going to be interesting. So,
but it sounds like she's got character witnesses of his family.
Well,
that have said that he has,
according to her, in an 8.5 hour rant.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what, as far as the defense of your client saying, hey, no way is my client or like crazy by any means. They're like, well, did she talk into her phone for 8.5 hours? That is not necessarily a trait of a stable person, right?
True.
Yeah.
How long did it take her to record all this 8.5 hours? Was it over a couple weeks? Do we know?
I think so. It wasn't over a couple weeks, but I think it was like over a week.
Oh, okay.
So she kept just popping on and doing these like 10-minute lives, one takes, just going through. And she doesn't have ADD. I will give her that much, because she was able to stick to the narrative and tell a story beginning, middle, and end. But again, if there's any fabrications or any like disparagement of character or any of that, he might actually have a case, especially if his job gets involved and sues her as well. So drama.
Right, because we all embellish that tiniest bit when we're telling a story, right? Because it's entertainment, you keep people going, things like that. But if to have it like totally picked through with a fine-tooth comb, and then all of a sudden you find out she embellished tiny 3 things, but that could get her sued. That's gonna suck.
Exaggerated for sure, dude. Yeah, so be careful what you wish for. She successfully smeared her ex and portrayed herself as the victim. Got 100 million people on her side, and now that might come back to bite her in the ass. Story's still developing, but there's the update and the who the F did I marry saga. We're gonna hit the reset on the FM side. Be back with more right after this. Keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. So join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. Yeah, so interesting stuff. We'll see what the update on that is.
Feels like we're gonna have a weekly update on that for a while.
For sure. Another interesting story that we came across this morning is all these celebrities that are signing up for OnlyFans. Fantastic, because they're making more money in their OnlyFans career than they ever did, accumulative, in their acting or singing career. And if you don't believe us, we came with receipts this morning. Go ahead and check this out.
A Guinness World Record for something I would never have thought about.
Okay.
The largest tongue. Not longest, but girthiest.
Yeah. I'm surprised you never thought of that. It seems like you would be the type of person that would think of that.
Yeah, seriously. So right now, there was a male who held the title, and just a male.
Was he from India? Because I feel like I've seen pictures like this before.
No, he's from West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
West Virginia, and his circumference of his tongue measured in at 6.3 inches.
Damn.
Well, there was a female whose son really loves Guinness Book of World Records and was like, Mom, you kind of got a weird tongue. Like, let's get a female in on this category. And she was absolutely right. Her tongue circumference came in at 5.21 inches, and it is about the size of a soda can.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why am I immediately thinking terrible, dirty things? I'm like, well, what's the benefit
I'm not
there?
going to help at all.
Okay.
She is also a flute player.
Okay.
And when you're playing the flute and you're hitting these certain notes, it's called tonguing the notes. And she said it has only helped her because she is also a professional flute player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows how to tongue them notes. Is she married or single?
She is married.
Okay.
She is taken.
There you go. Happily married, I'm assuming.
Right. Yeah. She hails from Portland. And also her daughter kind of has the same thing. So they're thinking it might be hereditary. So her daughter's going to give her competition for that world record in the future.
Yeah, of course it's hereditary. I thought it was like, from the first record holder was from like West Virginia. So I thought maybe inbreeding was a factor. But maybe it's just something that you pass along through generations. So there you go. The fat tongue family.
Yeah.
Amazing. What else you got going on in weird news?
Well, police are confused in Palm Springs because there's a horse trail that's kind of like near an abandoned golf course. It's becoming a really popular sex spot, and they can't figure out why.
Wait a second. A popular sex spot, a horse trail? Like, who wants to get it on while they're smelling like horse dung in the air, right?
Don't know. That's why they are confused. But as far as they can tell, it's people that are like hooking up on these apps, or even people that are just hanging out waiting for people to show up and doing the thing called cruising.
Hey, cowboy, what you doing here? You know what I'm doing here. You want a rodeo? I mean, is this something like that? What's going on?
I mean, it is Palm Springs, which over 50% of the 55 and older community do identify as gay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's definitely, it's the gay capital of the world, and, let the freak flag fly.
Yeah, and only it's a luxury of being a gay man in America or throughout the world is that, if you're a man and you're horny, like men are horny, right? So that's the only essentially group that could just be like, hey, I'm horny. Are you horny? Yeah, let's mess around.
Right.
Like, it's that easy.
That's it. Easy, super easy transaction. Like, it's done.
Yeah. You just hang out on a horse trail and someone goes by and like, you know what? Yeah, actually, I feel like doing it right now. I got about 10 minutes. Like, that's crazy. You can't do that. Like, a man can't do that to find a woman to save his life, or vice versa. It's amazing.
Well,
it's envious, actually.
To me, the craziest part of this is Palm Springs Police Department. They actually attempt to communicate with the couples either post or in the middle of it to try to figure out, why are you guys picking this spot? And they have no information because, they're like, dude, we're not telling you.
Yeah, well, how about you look around and is it the scenery romantic?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a spot. That's so funny, dude. It's like the famous bang spot. Oh, Palm Springs, keep it weird, man.
Yes.
All right. Anything else in weird news?
I got something for my goth ladies out there.
All right. What's that?
There is Artisan Vampires. It's going to make your period goth AF. It is called the Vampon. It is a package of 20 tampons, but it is in the shape of a red coffin with a cross, and of course just has all the good puns when it comes to being a vampire.
Vampon is actually a really clever name. So somebody out there is going to make a ton of money selling tampons to emo girls. And they call that the pink tax, right? Because it's a necessity.
Exactly. But I love this. It says, here lies 20 tampons of regular absorbency with the notorious sinister Embrace Comfort Fit. Dare to Bleed, #1 U.S. vampire recommended tampon brand.
Wow.
I got this ad last week on my Instagram.
Of course you did.
I did.
Yeah, they're like targeting you are the key demo for this product. What brilliant branding on that. I mean,
Seriously.
it's basically not reinventing anything. It's just putting some lipstick on an old product that's been around forever.
Exactly. And in the comment section on one of the videos on Instagram, one person joked that Edward from Twilight would totally get Bella these. And I'm like, yeah, you would.
I mean, I'm going to have to buy my daughter those, you know, because I'm a good dad.
Okay. Well, it comes in at $15 for every 20 tampons. So they're a little pricier.
I'm out.
Yeah. But it's organic cotton with BPA-free applicator and everything. So it's supposed to be, super healthy and, kind of crunchy thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So you let me know once you're a Vampon subscriber.
I will.
Let's hit the reset. We got more Beef Vegan Presents coming up after these words. Rock 1 2.1. Look, Lindsay already got those Vampons. Bought them as a gift. You should gift them to a weirdo as well. And you know for a fact that goth came before emo?
Think about the 80s goth.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So that's not as rhetorical as what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. The goth for sure. So
yeah.
And see, I wasn't the only one that heard it.
I said cotton.
Yeah.
It was not a Freudian slip.
I'm glad that you heard that too, Anthony, because literally right before we got back on, I was like, did you just say cotton? Like, no, it was cotton. I'm like, no, you stopped. It never stop halfway through cotton or anything that sounds like that. Go ahead and put on the beard. Let me throw my balls in your face and say, I got cock coming out your mouth.
All right, let me get the crumb catcher on.
Yeah. And we're going to do a Florida man next too. And I'm sorry, that wasn't the only fan story that I promised as well. But we'll get into that. What?
I'm trying to figure out how to.
Yeah, new fetish. If you ever wanted to see,
you're supposed to put it on the. That's why there's glasses, but I don't need glasses. You hook it onto the glasses.
Oh, hook it onto your glasses.
Getting there, I'm smart this morning and figuring it out. Ugh. How do you
Is
deal
that the,
with
is,
this in
is
your
that the Velcro
mouth?
side? Don't have the smooth side out, obviously.
Okay, I think I got it now.
All right. So let's take some bets here on the podcast broadcast stream. I have two balls.
Deal with this on your upper lip.
Yeah,
God.
and sorry, Derp, no Cirque du Soleil.
No.
They had to do a photo shoot, so they were out quick. Unfortunately, I wanted to see them. And I didn't get to even look at them. Were they hot?
I at least saw one girl from the back. She had a nice ass.
Of course she does, because she's like super
She's
athlete.
in shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiny though.
All right.
Shorter than me.
So 2 balls. All right. How many balls will I be able to get stuck on Weirdo's face? We'll take some bets now.
This is awful.
What, the beard?
Yeah.
Just imagine how Manny feels. He's got it every day.
But he could shave it.
Same length. I'm sure. Well, we've seen younger pictures of Manny without the beard and stuff. And he actually, he's not a bad looking dude. He could shave it, but he looks pretty badass with it. All right. So Anthony doesn't think I can get any balls stuck to your face. Lisa thinks I can get 1. Manny has faith is 2. Jeff says 3. Which, no, I can't do 3. I'm only doing 2. All right. So we got a lot of 1s. So a little 50-50. And the whole goal is to throw these basketballs basically at her face and have it stick in the beard. All right. Velcro style. Yeah, no problem, Manny. I'm here for all the compliments, bro. All right. So, and I do have obstacles in the way, though, just to let you know. I have the webcam arm in the way. I got my ring cam in the way. Maybe I'll flick it through the ring cam, but you won't even see that style. Lindsay thinks I can only get 1. All right. Let's see. Do me a favor. Look up as if you're looking up at me, and it's my anniversary. Yeah, it is. Keep your eyes open, though. I like eye contact. Come on. You're not getting a haircut, weirdo.
Not.
All right, let's see. You're going full screen on this.
Shut up, Taco.
Yeah, Taco thinks you look hot. He likes bearded ladies. So we didn't have Cirque du Soleil in, but we still got circus performers in studio. All right, here we go. All right, yeah, eyes open. First ball. Bam! That's one. All right, here we
That was
go.
a throat hit.
Yeah, no, and you could talk. Don't be afraid to talk. You're not getting a haircut, dude. You look like a dude getting a haircut when you do that. When you close your eyes
It's
and
just so bad.
welcome to this is what men feel.
Yeah, and
all
you
the
guys
time.
choose to do it.
Here, I'm trying to get my second ball on your chin so I could say that I have balls on your face. Here we go.
I hate my job.
No, you love your job. You love this. Don't act like this is the first time. All right. And it may be for me, but in life.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. Going for the second one. Got the first one down. And luckily, I got good aim. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was not great. That was not great. Okay.
Thank God. That's why it comes with
Yes,
glasses.
that's why it comes with glasses. So if you
So
want to
don't
grab,
take out an eyeball with your balls.
if you want to grab that other ball, sorry about that, and you can take the beard off now. So okay, everyone who said one ball, you were correct. Congratulations.
The one ball legend, beef vegan.
Yes, and that will obviously be a clip on our social media later. So just keep watching.
Are you gonna put it in slow motion of you hitting me in the eye?
Yes, dude.
Ah,
Yes.
so many
It's-
inappropriate jokes.
I know it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. No, this
Um,
seems like a really fun game because if you actually go through the cards, like it gives you directions. Like the steamroller, one player with the beard lays down. On the count of three, the player with the beard rolls away from you, and then you toss the ball while they're rolling.
I don't know if we're gonna go through those
Yeah, but
extremes
some
when
of
we
these
do
are
the beard
fun.
envy. Well, maybe we will. Maybe we will, because when we do another beard envy contest, of course, doing these type of competitions
Yeah.
is good. And I think a salesperson, somebody gifted that to me as like, hey, this will be good for your beard thing. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this one's make it rain. You throw 5 balls at once.
Yeah, there's the Uniballer strikes again. One ball beef. That's so yeah, the Manny, and you got the other ball?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Good. Yeah, if you could put that away. Here. We got about 40 seconds. Gonna get into a Florida man story. There you go. Thank you so much for letting me do that. You made my day.
So
You
ridiculous.
made my week.
Well,
Yeah.
we keep it fun.
All right.
Keep it light.
Wait, where's my Florida man logo? No, that's weirdo. Where are you at here? Why am I doing this? Because Curious Cat. I did, hear from Cat. So I think she's in South Carolina. She moved, but she's doing okay. She's back on Instagram. It's
Okay,
great
cool.
to see her. Love seeing her, obviously. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We actually have a Florida man story that I didn't get to yet. Would you like to hear it?
I do.
All right, let's do it.
Florida man, catch an alligator in the trash can. If you can't do it, no one can. Come on now, Florida man.
All right, today's Florida man has a very Florida man name, Robert Whitaker. Right? Sounds familiar, right? And like he was a famous person, but he's not.
Mm.
So he's 33 years old. He's been sentenced to 7 years in prison for a nasty habit that got even nastier in a police car. Can you guess that habit?
Is he touching himself?
No, that's a good guess, though. All right, now he was arrested last year. I'll tell you what, it is difficult to touch yourself in a police car when you got your hands cuffed behind your back.
Mm.
Now, if you're able to touch yourself while you got your hands cuffed behind your back, then you're super hung, and congratulations. But at the same time, you're probably on your way to jail, so that's a bummer.
Mhm.
King of the shower, though. Anyways, Robert was arrested last year, and a car dash cam caught him reaching around to his backside, messing around with something. So he'd hidden bags of fentanyl in his rectum.
Oh,
Yeah, this is not good. He was reaching back there to get them out, and then stuffed them into a cushion of the cruiser. And that's where the seatbelt goes into the seat. He jammed about 32 grams in there. It was impressive. He had 32 grams in his rectum, but that fentanyl, is super fatal.
yeah.
The smallest amount could kill you.
Yes.
So I believe the kids call that dead ass. Now he was
because if any of those baggies had busted,
dead ass. He's
Dead
done.
ass.
He's done. OD by rectal admission. He was caught because he didn't get all of it. And at the jail, they did a full cavity search and, quote, a chunk of purple powder fell out of his anus. Dead ass. The cop car was so messed up from the fentanyl, and that it needed to be taken out of commission for 3 months to be freshly clean. Yeah, because it's not just
bad.
It's not just the fentanyl that's coming out of the rectum, and they're just like, oh, and he smeared it all in the seats. Super Florida man. Super Florida man. The dude could have 32 grams of fentanyl, where a little fraction of fentanyl could kill a horse.
Yeah.
But Florida man, 32 grams and your love sponge, and still not even make this guy drop.
Didn't even flinch.
Not even dead ass. And there's your Florida man story of the day. And we'll let the reset be back to the beef tip after these words, keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. See, I'm hip. I say things like dead ass.
Oh my God, we had a discussion on what ratchet meant in our house.
Okay, and what was your conclusion?
So I had made a comment. I'm like, God, my nails look ratchet because they were racked. Like I needed to do them. And
I feel like you used it properly.
Okay, thank you. My girlfriend and boyfriend are like, no, it's like the new sick or dope. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then my girlfriend pulled it up on urbandictionary.com. She's like, it's actually a combination of the two. Like you would call like somebody like Nicki Minaj or Cardi B ratchet, where they're spending a lot of money to try to look kind of, expensive or rich, but they're really just coming off kind of, like slutty or ghetto kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah. So, but like I always use it like as like ratchet. That's gross. That's ghetto. That's whatever. But like, yeah. So yeah. But they were like, no, it's the new sick. It's the new dope. Kids have been using it for years. I'm like, I don't think that's right.
Maybe.
Yeah. And they weren't right.
Well, I think you're both right, as opposed to both being wrong, right?
Well, I mean, we asked the 14-year-old, and then she was like, I don't know how to use it in a sentence without being insulting. And that's when I was like, I think I was right. Because I was insulting my own nails.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's always interesting how language, I mean, we talk about that all the time, how language changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got to stay up on the slang, which you try to do. I do have a little bit of time where I'm going to squeeze in that OnlyFans story. Yeah. Okay. And be back with your beef tip. So check out these celebrities, how much they're making showing off their body. 0.1 KFMA, who recently announced that they're going on tour. They're going to be stopping by Phoenix as well. I don't have any tickets or anything to give away for that, but it is what it is.
It's nice to know that they're touring again, though.
Yeah. And here's if you're about to give me a call or post or comment on my social media about KFMA Day or why isn't any good bands coming to Tucson, you have to know this. And if you don't know this, I'm telling you right now. And if you do know this, this is a reminder to tell your friends when they bitch. Okay, the reason why all these major bands aren't coming to Tucson is because they're all signed under Live Nation. Live Nation is booking these bands, which is fine. But Live Nation is only putting these major bands in venues that they own. So not only do they get their, profit from the ticket sales, but they also get all the other profits, right? That is their business model. And Live Nation owns 0 venues in Tucson. This is why we aren't getting those bands. Okay. I can't be any more clear than that. All right. So before you run and of course, most of you out there listening aren't the ones that are commenting on our social media about this, but I need you to tell the people who are bitching. Okay. So they don't come back at me. They need to understand the game. That's how it works. Okay. As when we get Live Nation to buy up one of these venues, then we will get these major acts stopping by Tucson again. It's unfortunate.
It's a conundrum.
It is beyond
right, because I also don't want Live Nation to buy a local spot either. So,
until they go through the cycle and get through the business dealings with Live Nation, and then they could do an independent tour, whatever the case, then that's when we'll see them again. But for now, Live Nation, they sign these 360 deals. They get them, all set up, plugged in, ready to go. It's very easy for the artist to play ball like that.
Right.
And that's where it's at. And until then, this is why everything else is up north in Phoenix. But the good news is we give you tickets for those shows, and it is not that far away. And sometimes it's cool to have an overnight little adventure when a concert's involved.
Hell yeah.
They got a lot of venues actually opening up. It'll be interesting to see when that resort opens up on the west side of Phoenix. That is a music venue resort that we talked about on the podcast. Because it looks sick.
It really does.
And you could literally be on your hotel patio, and that would be like a VIP suite watching your favorite band
play. You just got to look down.
Yeah, no, look straight ahead. The way that it's designed. So, it looks fascinating. All right, but let's get into this top story. I came across a piece talking about the top earner on OnlyFans, and it was surprising to me because I know who this person is because she's a celebrity. She used to be a pop singer and rapper, if you will. It's more appropriate to say rapper than singer because she didn't really have the voice.
Yeah.
But she had the ass.
Oh, she had the ass.
Yeah, I'm talking about Iggy Azalea. Now, here's good news. She still has the ass. And she has not been making music. So those are two good news stories and headlines and takeaways from Iggy Azalea doing OnlyFans. But it was in 2022, I believe, or 21. She decided that she was going to join the OnlyFans platform.
Mm-hmm.
And when she did, she didn't realize how much money she would end up making. Now, she earns the title of the highest earner on OnlyFans. That's all of OnlyFans. All right. Guess how much Iggy Azalea makes a month?
Is she in the millions?
She's in the millions. Keep
7 million.
That is a very high guess. And under what she makes a month. Iggy Azalea, all right, the fancy rapper, takes in $9.2 million a month.
Wow.
Selling nudes on OnlyFans, which is insane considering she's had nudes leak on the internet and even a sex tape in the past. Now, her quote as to why she is doing this actually makes a lot of sense to me because she said that, there's been tons of people who have made lots of money off of her body. So it's time for her to take that power back and make money off her body. And so much so that she doesn't ever have to work again.
Yeah.
All she has to do is take an ass pic, post it on OnlyFans, and she'll bring in over $300,000 a day.
It's insane,
isn't it? But it doesn't stop there because just yesterday there was a piece on Drea D'Amato, which you know her from The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, Drea hasn't really been working consistently since The Sopranos. And, during COVID, she refused to get the vaccine. So at that point, nobody was hiring her, right? Cool story, bro. I got to get back on the air. All right. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Let's get on. Just do a little beef tip. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That is the Fever 333 with Made in America. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for the show, but we've had a fun time with you guys this morning. A lot of interaction. We appreciate that. Don't forget, Robin Nash going to give another keyword 11:15 today, where you can score yourself $2,000 cash money, or at least qualify for that. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have we're going to have Rico and Mari in studio, and we'll continue to give out keywords and tickets for your Tucson Roadrunners. Let me give you a beef tip before we're out of here. Now, a lot of you guys might get the midday slumps and you want to try to get yourself awake. Well, there's 3 tricks to stay awake without caffeine. 1, drink water and eat snacks, because fatigue can come from dehydration and you want to power up, fuel yourself. 2, exercise. Just moving for a few minutes can help you wake up and stay sharp. And then 3, if all that fails, take a power nap. 15 to 20 minutes can recharge you. And that's all you really need. And those 3 things will keep you up throughout the rest of the day. Thank you for listening. Try safe, ride safe, and as always, rock on. Later.
There you go. Got it.
Did I finally do it?
Will come and end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
Babuski. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.